How's it going, everybody? The Ringside Seat Podcast back at you, here to predict the biggest party of the summer. It's SummerSlam. We're halfway through our big weekend here. NXT TakeOver is past, and it's time for SummerSlam. We're going to see who walks out of the weekend with the championship. As always, I am your host, Dreamcast Phil.
I'm Jake Ryan is Epic.
I'm the champ. I'm me, just Billy.
He may or may not be the champ at the time that this show airs, but we'll know at the end of the weekend who walks out the Ringside Seat Predictions World Heavyweight Champion. We have 15 minutes and we have 11 matches to get to, so we're going to get right to it. In a match with a little bit of controversy, recently suspended, we talked about at the end of last episode, recent suspension has made this a 3-on-2 handicap match. We have Becky Lynch, Carmella, and Naomi over, as of now, Alexa Bliss, and Natalya. Guys, who do you think is going to win this? I'm going to go ahead and go with the faces, even though they have the advantage. There was a slight chance that they're going to get a third partner, and if that happens, we are going to throw this match out. But at the moment, who do you guys got?
I've got the team of Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi.
I agree. It's going to be the baby faces.
Sounds good enough. We're going to see, maybe they're going to add to this. It's crazy how they can shift the, it always says the bottom of your ticket, card subject to change, and it's for reasons just like this. Moving on next, we have the Swiss Superman Cesaro versus Lobsterhead Sheamus in the first match of what will be a best-of-7 series. Why don't they just make it a best-of-5? I don't know, but what I do know is I think Sheamus is going to take this one for the simple reason of Cesaro beat him twice in a row on the past 2 Monday Night Raws. If he beats him again, that's 3 in a row. It doesn't make it interesting. Sheamus is going to win via heel shenanigans to make this interesting. I think Cesaro wins this feud in general, and he's got to come from behind to make it interesting.
I disagree with you there, Phil. I've got Cesaro.
I hope I'm wrong.
Believe me.
I hope Jake's right too, but I got to agree with Phil and say that Sheamus is going to pull through on this one.
Yeah, storyline-wise, to me, it just makes sense. Next, we have the Intercontinental Championship match. We have The Miz defending his title against Apollo Crews, often referred to as Apollo Creed, because it's too hard to not make that mistake. I've been wanting The Miz to drop the title for a while. I don't think it's going to happen here. The Miz does all these movies. It'd be good for him to get a win on such a high-profile show. He's known, he's kind of like Cena. He does drop, he'll win at Mania and stuff, and then he'll drop at SummerSlam. But for this one, I'm going to go with The Miz retaining his title.
I feel like that WWE is going to do with Apollo Crews what they did for another guy, and brace yourselves, the 4 people who remember the name of Ahmed Johnson. I think Apollo Crews is going to come out of SummerSlam with the Intercontinental title.
I don't think that's going to happen. I wish Miz would drop it, but I think that Crews is not the right person. Someone who's not on the card who I think would be a good contender would be Baron Corbin, but
I agree.
I'm going to go with The Miz.
Yeah, I think I feel like I found myself for a lot of these picks saying, I have this guy, but I hope I'm wrong. There's a couple of those on here. Next, we have Enzo Amore and Big Cass against Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, Y2KO. We got the guys from South Jersey, New York versus the guys from Canada. I have Enzo and Cass in this. The team, while entertaining, of Jericho and Owens is clearly thrown together to give these guys a big win on a big show. I have the realest guys in the room walking out of Brooklyn with a win.
I agree with you. I've got Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Jericho. It's going to be Enzo and Big Cass.
On a side note, though, I wouldn't mind if they kind of kept them together for a little while, because they are entertaining together. I could see them bickering. They have the best bicker back and forth thing they have going right now is actually pretty entertaining. But Enzo and Cass need to win more, the way I feel about it. Speaking of tag team matches, we got the one for all the marbles. The WWE Tag Team Championship match. We got the Club, I think they're still called the Club, right? Versus the New Day for the WWE Tag Team Champions. And whatever they're called, I have the Club winning this. I think the New Day, they're wounded. Their big gun is out. I have the Club winning this, in a heelish way. I do think that we're finally going to have new tag team champions at SummerSlam.
I have got Gallows and Anderson.
Glanderson.
Yeah, I actually have to agree. They got the title of, longest reigning tag team champion, so they can always say that in their entrance, but I think their time is done, especially since they don't have Big E.
Yeah, typically whenever like a milestone is reached and they keep like talking about that with people, that's typically when that reign ends. When they're like, "Yeah, the longest reigning," and they talk about that for a few weeks, and then someone finally breaks it, and it makes them that much better. And it's a solid team. They're a good team, good heels. Literally a face has been champion for almost a year now, a little bit over a year, whatever it's been. So I think some heel tag team champions would be good. Next, we have what could easily be the match of the night. I mean, there's plenty of great matches on this card. Better be, because the show's longer than most. We have Sasha Banks defending her women's title against Charlotte. I have Sasha Banks winning this because it just would make sense for her to give the title right back. I think it's going to be great. I hope they give them time for it, and I have Banks walking out of Brooklyn, still the champ.
I agree with you, Phil. I've got Sasha. And just for the record, SummerSlam is going to be 4 hours long with a 2-hour pre-show. So we are in for a 6-hour investment.
I'm going to need more beer.
Lord of the... Some movies are shorter than this is going to be.
Yeah, you could basically watch like all the Lord of the Rings movies in the time it'll take you to watch SummerSlam.
And hopefully this women's match can get at least 10 minutes. I'm going to go with Sasha Banks for the women's championship, the boss.
Yeah, 10 minutes minimum. They need closer to upwards of 15. I think they've earned it. You don't make the women's champion the third overall pick in the draft to give them, nothing on a show like this. 10, 15 minutes minimum. Next, we have the United States Championship match. We have Rusev versus Roman Reigns in a storyline that's kind of picked up some. At first you thought it was Reigns kind of had a punishment of you're going for a mid card title, but for some reason it's so much easier for them to make the U.S. title mean something than the IC title. People forget Roman is decent in the ring and Rusev is very good for a big guy. I think this will be a better match than most people think, but I don't think Roman walks out with the title. I think Rusev does. Not saying he won't win it eventually, but I think Rusev wins this first, big encounter.
I do believe that Rusev will say no to Roman Reigns, and he will crush him. I have got Rusev.
I think Rusev will fall, and Roman Reigns will become the new champion, because I think Rusev has to go on a honeymoon.
That is true. That is a good point, and I wish I'd have thought of it, but I got to stick to my guns at this point. Next, we have another match that could easily be the match of the night. We have AJ Styles and John Cena in what is their rubber match. As I said earlier, Cena does tend to drop matches at SummerSlam. Like, he'll win at Mania, and then he'll drop at SummerSlam. I would love to see AJ Styles win here. Don't know how sure of a thing that's going to be, but I'm going to go with AJ Styles picking up the win and getting the win. The big win he should have got at WrestleMania over Jericho. He gets it here over Cena and solidifies him as a main eventer for however long he stays in the company.
This was by far my most difficult pick of this SummerSlam, and I was really bouncing it back and forth. Like, I had to find the perfect marriage between my head and my heart, but I feel like I've got to go with my heart on this one. I pick AJ Styles.
Well, as much as I would want it to be AJ, you can't beat up John Cena if there was no John Cena. So I think John Cena is going to be the poster boy and pull on through like Superman always does.
This is true. I mean, I'm also going off of the last time we saw these two, Cena's putting Styles through a table. So I try and use that, logic. But who knows? That's why we watch the show. So we'll see what happens.
Also, next, the SummerSlam curse.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I kind of alluded to that a little bit earlier. Next, we have the WWE Championship match, and obviously we don't know the order this is going to be in, but this is the way it's listed on Wikipedia, and that's good enough for us. We have Dean Ambrose against Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship. Ziggler has looked pretty good going into this, and even though Ambrose kind of bombed his interview with Stone Cold, which is another conversation for another time, I have Ambrose winning this. It's not often you get two baby faces in a match. You can't go wrong with this. But I'm going Dean Ambrose to retain the title.
I've got Dean.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Ambrose as well.
I just, I'm glad that they're making Ziggler more important than he had been in a while, but there's no reason to give him the title right now. Next, we got enough time to do this quickly, so this is a two-parter. Who do you think wins? Finn Balor and Seth Rollins for the first ever Universal Champion. And I want to know real quick what you guys think of the name of the title. Me personally, I'm okay with the name as long as the belt design looks okay. That's more important to me. But I have Finn Balor winning this simply because he's going to be the Demon. And to my knowledge, the Demon has yet to lose on television. I don't see him getting pinned in face paint. So I have Finn Balor, first ever Universal Champion.
And for the record, he lost to Samoa Joe toward the end.
In paint?
Yeah.
Cage match.
Okay, well, I'm still going Balor, but I feel like it don't happen very often. So we'll see.
But I do agree with you. I'm going with Finn Balor.
This is one that I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going with Seth Rollins, the man.
I mean, you can't go wrong, really. I mean, I'm not upset if Rollins wins. Like, he's as good as.
I would like to see Finn win, though. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
What are we all squabbling about? It's Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins.
You know who the winner's going to be? You know who the winner's going to be? Us, the fans. That's who the winner's going to be. And that's where we go with that. And next we have what probably isn't the main event, but that's how it's listed on Wikipedia, and as I've stated, it's good enough for us. We have Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton, Suplex City versus Viperville. I'm going to go with Randy Orton. I'm going to hope that all the shenanigans that Brock Lesnar's had with the drugs and this and that and the suspension that he should have had, they're not going to suspend him, but they're going to make him lose his first match and, getting pinned or submitted. It'll be pinned. His first match in a very long time, and this will be the punishment he has for everything he put him through. Nothing more, nothing less. Randy Orton stands tall, puts him right back in one of the biggest stars he was before the injury, Orton over Lesnar.
I've got Brock.
I'm going to agree with Dreamcast Phil on this one and say that Viperville is going to be overpopulated when it is compared to Suplex City, and there's going to be, like you're saying, kind of some punishment for Brock Lesnar in terms of his recent actions.
Because we all know from where an RKO can come from, and that's out of nowhere. Guys, I'm proud of us. We just ran through 11 matches in 14 minutes. We got a minute left. I want to thank everybody for listening. Follow us on RSS Podcast on Twitter, and I will be posting, like last pay-per-view, our drinking game to go along with it. I am Dreamcast Phil.
I'm Jake Ryan is Epic.
And I'm me, Just Billy.
Who's the champion after this week? We'll find out soon enough. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
I'm making you go.